everybody, I wanted to make a quick rant, and I have done so, but I wanted to forewarn you that the audio is bad and there are a lot of verbal pauses. You can blame it on my being distracted. I was trying to feed my Shih Tzu and watch Ugly Betty. So I recorded this in bits and pieces and it didn't turn out very well, but as long as you understand my point, then everything will be okay. Have a great day. Africa is one great big trash can. Yes, I said it. It's one great big trash can. I remember seeing images of Africa on television when I was a little girl, and I had never in my life seen so many shacks and shanties. The people were filthy. They were poorly dressed when they were dressed, but more times than not, they were not dressed, and there were starving children everywhere. They were surrounded by insects, and it was just a pitiful sight. Fast forward, years later, I'm now an adult, and if I see images of Africa on television, they pretty much mirror the images that I saw of Africa on television when I was a little girl. Not much has changed at all. Africa is still the least developed continent, with one exception, Antarctica, which is still uninhabited, I believe. Most of the good that I've ever seen or heard about or read about in Africa was the result of colonial powers or of missionary workers who went there, most of which were white people. The natives are pretty much not responsible for the industry that has been built there, which is very sad. And it's a testament to either their lack of motivation or their lack of access to their own natural resources, which is very, very pathetic. I think a lot of Africans are waiting for the white man to come over and fix the things as usual. Long story short, in spite of the fact that Africans come to the United States and do very, very well in institutions of higher learning, they have not figured out how to take that knowledge back to the motherland, back to their home countries, and implement positive change there. I participated in a program once, and the aim of the program, or the objective, was to help young African girls get sanitary protection. And I remember when I was making my donation, I was wondering, what on earth have these young girls been doing for centuries? All that knowledge over there, and nobody has figured out how to make basic sanitary protection for young girls? Anyway, I sent a check, but you know, that still baffles me. I think the bulk of the donation was going to Ethiopia, Senegal. I don't know. They listed about 4 countries where the girls needed sanitary protection, and I was just blown away. And I said, okay, well, this is something that I'm definitely going to help them with, but I couldn't figure out why they hadn't helped themselves with regard to that matter. That's a basic need that human beings should have been able to figure out how to take care of centuries ago, thousands of years ago, but still here it is. Modern day Africans are struggling to provide young girls with a basic need so that they can have proper hygiene. Moving right along to Haiti. Haiti also is a dumpster. For all the boasting and bragging that Haitians do about being the first free black nation in the Western world, there's really not much else to brag about. I've never seen a shot of Haiti on television where there was any type of beautiful landscape, or people who were not suffering, or people who were not begging and pleading for help, or people who were not on the brink or the verge of death. Most of the footage that I've seen with Haitians, it's snapshots taken or footage recorded to pull the heartstrings of people in America or in the rest of the Western world to try to get donations to help these people to just survive, to just have their basic needs. When Haiti was a slave colony for France, Haitians made France very, very wealthy. But now that Haiti is free and black run, it's poor and it's filthy. It's absolutely a hell on earth. Next up, Jamaica. I have gone on vacation abroad many times, but I have never gone on vacation to Jamaica. I've had many friends who have gone down there, and they say it's absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous if you're in the touristy areas. But if you can get a native Jamaican to take you to some of the areas where they actually live and tourists are off limits, or there's no need for tourists to go there, that pretty much they look like American ghettos. Some Haitians still don't have running water. The areas are very underdeveloped, if they're developed at all. The children, a lot of times, don't look healthy, and they don't look well fed. So in spite of the fact that Haitians like to boast, like many Africans, that when they come here they're very hardworking and they do well, when they're just around other Haitians in their own homeland, they have not figured out the recipe for building and making their own nation or their own community better. After Negro emancipation in Jamaica and in Haiti, for the most part, both of those nations went into ruin. I don't know what Jamaica would do now if they didn't have a heavy European tourist influx to come down there and keep their economy afloat. Somalia and Ethiopia are two of the poorest nations in continental Africa. For all their smarts, the blacks there, and yes, I did say blacks because they are included in the black race, they've not figured out how to develop industry there and how to pick their economy up by its bootstraps, or their bootstraps. Somalians and Ethiopians are basically sitting around waiting for their get out of jail cards, and the jail is Africa. They, like most Africans, live for the day where they can leave Africa and come to America, because they cannot figure out how to fix the problems in their primarily black populated lands. I will say that there are islands in the Caribbean that are indeed paradises, but they're only paradises because of the white tourists who keep their economies afloat. My point in making this video, which can be interpreted as a rant, is that I'm sick of foreign-born blacks ragging on African Americans. All blacks from abroad, who make it to the United States, they owe a debt to African Americans for making it possible for them to even come here and enjoy the opportunities that we, African Americans, have obtained and secured for them. Is everyone aware of the divide and conquer theory? I'm going to give a loose interpretation of it, not a textbook interpretation. A loose interpretation is this. The divide and conquer theory is when members of a group attempt to further divide the group so that they can be distanced from a behavior or, let's say, a stereotype that they find distasteful. So they just want to hang it on certain members of the group and distance themselves from it so that they don't have to wear the shame. That is what a lot of foreign-born blacks have been trying to do to African Americans. And it's laughable to me because, as a person who is well-traveled, well-read, and supremely aware of the state of black people around the globe, foreign blacks are simply not in a position to finger point at African Americans or American blacks, because I've had Africans who have come here tell me they don't appreciate black people here, referring to themselves as African Americans. We're not the African Americans, they've told me. They're the Africans in America, so they should wear that title. However, they didn't tell me how we should refer to ourselves. But anyway, that's another video. My point is, foreign-born blacks don't need to continue biting the hand that feeds them. There is not one place in the world where there is a majority black population that is thriving or doing well. Most black nations or urban areas in the United States, most black neighborhoods, regardless of where they're found around the globe, they suffer from the same ills: drug abuse, broken homes, poverty, filthy living conditions, and apathy. My point in making this video is just to remind everybody, in spite of the fact that we do have a few shining stars in the black race. We do have a few superstars in the black race. We do have some people in the black race who are doing extremely well. For the most part, black people as a group are not doing well at all. Nowhere in the world are black people doing well as a group. With that said, we don't need to finger point because we all have homework to do.